I am Magnus Karlsson from Sweden. I am a civil engineer and a master of science. I am a highly educated man. And I am a torture victim by Sweden and its Nazism and Satanism. They have taken my life away from me. They have exterminated my parents and my grandparents and taken all my friends away from me. They have isolated me and censored me and boycotted me. I turn now to you, the terrorist leader of the Islamic State of IS, the terrorist states, Mr. Tayyip Recep Erdogan. You are a murderer. You lead the terrorist organization of IS together with Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei of Iran. You have also a Nazi colleague to terrorist leader, the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, the man of the year according to the Nazis themselves. You, Mr. Erdogan, wants to take areas in Russia in the new World War III that is coming, in the apocalypse. You, Mr. Erdogan, are joining forces, Satanism and Nazism together, to exterminate Russia as a state and making slave states for the Nazism and Satanism instead, and enslave Russia's people with the help of the American imperialism, of course. I hope you got my letter 1 year ago, Mr. Erdogan, my personal letter that I gave to the Russian embassy in Hague. And I gave a copy to President Vladimir Putin and his government too, to be sent out all over the world. I show my sincere and honest opinions about you and your terrorist regime, and you personally, Mr. Erdogan. I have also made a very characteristic drawing of you that I also gave to Russian embassy. I want that to be shown to the world too. It shows when you, Mr. Erdogan, and the leader of the Jews, Benjamin Netanyahu, shows respect for each other and for their Satan Boge, your Satan Boge, the Swedish leader and witch master. It shows when you, Mr. Erdogan, are taking Mr. Netanyahu's dick in your mouth and do a blowjob of him. And Mr. Netanyahu is shown by a head of a lizard with a snake's splitted tongue, with poison, of course. Very symbolic. And it's so you Muslims show respect, of course, to each other, and ass-fucking each other too. You are murderers and criminal creeps that should be extinguished. Die, Mr. Erdogan. Die, all your Satanists, together with the Nazis, in the coming World War III, in the apocalypse that you had predicted, and do everything that you can that it shall happen. Now I will add the city of Kursk, where the terrorist leader for the Nazists, Volodymyr Zelensky, made an attack of the airfield of Kursk with drones. It's not very strange that the Nazis want to cover its history. They want to cover that Russia won the fight against Adolf Hitler, the worst battle in history with tanks, at the city of Kursk. The city of Kursk and the name Kursk are cursed by the Nazism and the Satanist leader, the witch master and devil Boge, in Sweden. Of course, everything with the name Kursk shall be exterminated according to the Nazism and to him, the Nazism itself, the inner core. Just as the devil always has been the inner core of Nazism. It's not so strange that the Western alliance of Nazism, the NATO, sunk this magnificent submarine of Kursk, close to Murmansk, Russia, 20 years ago. Sabotage, terrorism by the superior forces of Nazism through NATO. Three times the name of Kursk, the submarine Kursk, the Battle of Kursk, and the terrorist action to destroy Kursk airfield. Sweden, the leader of the Nazism and Satanism, together with Norway and the Netherlands, do everything to cover up their own history. It is the Nazism itself and the Satanism that shall be extinguished, exterminated from the planet Earth. It's not Russia and its honest people. President Vladimir Putin is a good leader, honest and sincere. I do believe he is a Republican, just as I, Magnus Karlsson from Sweden, is that. I support him with all my heart, just as I support Russia's government and Russia's people. I will also add the inner core, the secret of why the name Kursk in the name of the submarine is so very important to the Nazis. It is connected to the name of the son of the god Poseidon, the witch master Poseidon. It's an alias for the Satan bogey in Gothenburg, Sweden. And this master of Satanism, the witch bogey, Bo Gerenmark, he is a perfectionist. He wants to exterminate everything that is connected to him, and Sweden do everything to support him. Whatever it takes, they do it. They have fooled the US. They are ruling the European Union and NATO, the Nazi social democracy, together with Norway and the Netherlands. So I say to Russia and President Vladimir Putin, take immediately the village of Gamelsvensby in Ukraine, near the river of Dnieper. If you cannot take it, destroy it by all means. It's an old colony, Nazi colony of Sweden, and that's why it's so important for them, so that they support the terrorist leader Volodymyr Zelensky so much in that area. The place Poltava is, of course, very important for Sweden too, even if their warlord, King Karl XII, suffered a loss towards Russia there. Sweden celebrates the death of the warlord Karl XII of Sweden and Norway. They celebrate it since they unfortunately lost the time as a superpower in the world. But they loved the war. They loved when he declared war against Russia and defeated Peter the Great at Narva. Peter the Great, he took revenge of the insane warlord King Karl XII, of course. Since the insane warlord of Sweden wanted to take Moscow and marched there and thought that his Aryan superiority of the Russian troops was enough, even though he was outnumbered. So President Vladimir Putin in Russia and the Russian government see to that these slave colonies of Swedish Nazism are destroyed. Gammelsvenskby and Poltava. If necessary, detonate a nuclear bomb. It will give you respect in the countries of Nazism. The Nazi state, they have never, ever recognized anything other than military power and the use of it. That makes respect on them. And once again, Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, die in war. Die, you and your Muslim bastards, to terrorists. Terrorists of Islam.